I just came on here to say my birthday is tomorrow. That's it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. That's it.
Ooh, those in their 40s are killing the game. They know what they want. They sure know what they don't want. They look good. It's scary. If they didn't tell you they were in their 40s, you wouldn't know.
On October 7th, 2023, a woman was shot and killed inside a barbershop in North Philadelphia. The shooting happened in broad daylight on the 2500 block of West Lehigh Avenue. The victim was identified as Natifa Tiffany Wade, a woman known to people in the area. The suspect was Armand Hilton from Chester, Pennsylvania. Hilton entered the barbershop around 1:48 p.m. and shot Tiffany Wade multiple times in the torso and head. Tiffany was pronounced dead at 2:04 p.m. Hilton left the scene before police could arrive. According to police reports and multiple online sources, Hilton and Tiffany were previously in a relationship. Hilton had spent time in prison. While incarcerated, Hilton reportedly places assets in Tiffany's care. By the time Hilton was released from prison, those assets were no longer his. Reports claimed Tiffany had taken control of property, filed for divorce, and remarried another man. The situation escalated into violence. The shooting inside the barbershop was a result of a personal conflict involving financial betrayal and relationship issues. Police describe Hilton as armed and dangerous. A reward of $20,000 was offered for any information leading to his arrest and conviction. The crime attracted public attention because it happened in the middle of the day in a busy neighborhood. The case raised questions about trust, betrayal, and violence between close personal connections. Authorities launched an active manhunt for Hilton after the killing. This is a full story of every move, every brutal detail. If you're captivated by real crime stories that peel back the layers of truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us as we uncover real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to the voiceless. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Natifa Tiffany Wade was a 40-year-old woman who was well known within her local community at the time of her death. According to reports, Tiffany was a single mother, although the exact number of children she had was not clearly stated in official records. What was clear, however, was that she was responsible for the care and upbringing of her children. Online accounts, friends, and social media followers describe her as a hard-working, stylish, and determined woman who wanted a good life for herself and her family. Tiffany's personal life was described by those who knew her as centered around two major things: her family and her career. She was seen by many people as a woman who had taken control of her life, who wanted to build something for herself. As far as public records and available information show, Tiffany did not have a criminal history. Her name was not tied to illegal activities, criminal organizations, or police investigations. Everything about her background pointed to a person focused on progress and providing for her family the right way. Her career path made her stand out in her community. Tiffany was widely reported to be a small business owner or entrepreneur. Different sources online shared that she had a business and was active on social media platforms, although the exact nature of her business was not clearly confirmed by mainstream sources. Some video reports and online posts described her as an influencer, someone who promoted her lifestyle, appearance, and business on platforms like Facebook or Instagram. These details, while widely circulated on social media, were not officially confirmed by law enforcement. Still, to those around her, Tiffany appeared to be doing well for herself. Her public image matched that of someone who was successful, respected, and admired by friends, family, and followers. She often posted images of herself looking fashionable, taking pride in her appearance, and sharing content about her work. While online fame often brings attention, it also brings hidden pressures, especially in personal relationships. Before she became connected to a man who would later be accused of killing her, Tiffany Wade's personal life was stable. She was not known for being involved in crimes, and her focus seemed to be on growing her brand and raising her children. Then came a relationship with Armand Hilton, a connection that, over time, would lead to devastating consequences. The exact details of when and how Tiffany and Armand's relationship began remain unclear. Available reports suggest that the relationship likely began years before the tragic event. Hilton was a 44-year-old man at the time of the crime. His background was very different from Tiffany's. Unlike Tiffany, Armand had a criminal past. The specific crimes that led to his prison time were not fully detailed in mainstream news sources, but online reports described him as someone with connections to organized or petty crime. This part of his life set the stage for everything that followed. Armand's life before the incident involved criminal activity and eventually imprisonment. While serving his time, he reportedly entrusted Tiffany Wade with his assets, which should have included money, properties, or valuable possessions. The reason for this trust is unknown, but it suggests that Armand and Tiffany were at least in a close relationship at one point in time. Whether this trust was formal, documented, or simply based on personal relationships is not clearly outlined in public records, but the claim is repeated in multiple online sources. Hilton's release from prison took place sometime before the fatal shooting, with reports suggesting it was recent, possibly weeks or months before October 2023. At that point, it is believed that Armand expected to return to the life he left behind, possibly planning to reconnect with Tiffany and resume his personal life or reclaim control of his financial assets. However, what Armand reportedly discovered upon his release was not what he had expected. Reports claim that Tiffany Wade had not only taken control of his assets, but also made significant moves in her personal life. She had reportedly filed for divorce from Armand, meaning that they were married or had a serious domestic partnership at some point. To make matters worse for Armand, Tiffany had reportedly remarried by the time he got out of prison. For Armand, this would have been seen as a major betrayal, especially if he truly trusted Tiffany with his resources while he was behind bars. Armand Hilton's personal state after release was described as one of shock and betrayal. The idea that everything he thought he had was now gone appeared to have had a serious psychological impact on him. Reports surrounding this case suggest that one of the major causes of the conflict between Tiffany and Hilton was money. But it wasn't just ordinary money. It was wealth that Hilton claimed belonged to him. According to multiple sources, Armand Hilton was not just another ex-boyfriend or estranged partner. He was a man with a criminal history who had spent time in prison. While he was serving time, Hilton trusted Tiffany to handle his financial affairs outside the prison walls. This kind of arrangement is not unusual between partners or close associates. Tiffany to handle his financial affairs outside the prison walls. This kind of arrangement is not unusual between partners or close associates, especially when one person is behind bars and needs someone they can rely on to manage their property, businesses, or savings. However, trust is only as strong as the people involved. Reports claim that Tiffany Wade took ownership of Hilton's assets while he was still incarcerated. The nature of these assets has not been officially confirmed by police or court records, but several reports from online sources mention that the assets may have included money, property, or valuable personal belongings. Whether these assets were legally transferred or done in secret remains unclear. What is clear is that Hilton expected his possessions to be waiting for him when he finished his prison term. Instead, he found something else entirely. While Hilton was still in prison, Tiffany allegedly filed for divorce. Ending a relationship while a partner is behind bars adds an extra layer of complication, especially when financial interests are involved. Divorce papers often mean a legal division of property, and depending on the laws of the state or the details of their relationship, Tiffany may have been able to claim ownership of certain things Hilton believed belonged to him. But the betrayal, from Hilton's point of view, did not stop at divorce. Reports also claim that Tiffany got married to someone else while Hilton was still serving a sentence. This likely changed everything for Hilton. What may have started as frustration or anger about money had now grown into something deeper. He had lost not only his property, but also the woman he once trusted. For a man who had been locked away, possibly thinking of returning to his old life with Tiffany by his side, the discovery that she had moved on with another person may have triggered intense feelings of betrayal. Now, Hilton was facing two forms of loss at the same time: personal betrayal by a former partner and financial betrayal involving assets he may have worked hard or risked a lot to obtain. It's important to note that most of these reports come from online sources and secondary accounts. Police have not released official statements confirming the exact details of the assets, the marriage, or the full timeline of the betrayal. Still, the repeated mentions of this version of events across multiple outlets give strength to the idea that this financial and emotional betrayal played a key role in the crime that followed. According to online reports, Hilton may have tried to confront Tiffany about these issues before the shooting happened. Whether these confrontations were in person, through phone calls, or via messages is not confirmed. Some accounts suggest that threats may have been made, but again, no official public record confirms this detail. However, what is known is that tensions were rising between them leading up to the shooting at the Philadelphia barbershop. From Hilton's point of view, it may have felt like everything he valued was taken away, while he was powerless to stop it. First, being in prison meant he couldn't fully protect his own interests. Second, the person he may have thought he could trust the most was now, in his eyes, siding against him. And third, the final insult came in the form of her marriage to another man, while his own future was uncertain. This combination of events formed a strong motive: emotional betrayal mixed with financial loss. Financial betrayal on its own can be devastating to someone who feels like they've lost their life's work. But when paired with emotional betrayal, especially in a romantic relationship, it often creates intense feelings of revenge or the need for retribution. Many crimes of passion start from this exact formula: the loss of love combined with the loss of wealth or status. Some reports describe Hilton as a man who had been preparing to rebuild his life after prison. Finding that his world was gone before he even got started may have pushed him toward violent action. It is also important to understand that when financial motives overlap with personal betrayal, the violence that follows is rarely random. Instead, it often becomes focused on the person viewed as the cause of the loss. In this case, that person was Tiffany Wade. The fact that the confrontation happened inside a public barbershop also suggests that Hilton may not have cared about being seen. By that time, it could have been a case of rage and desperation, where the goal was no longer to escape punishment, but to punish the one he believed betrayed him. Though police were able to identify Hilton quickly as a prime suspect, as of the immediate aftermath of the incident, he had not been captured. Law enforcement labeled him as armed and dangerous, offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. The seriousness of the manhunt showed that authorities believed he posed a continued threat to the community. On October 7, 2023, a brutal crime unfolded in North Philadelphia. It was broad daylight, and the location was not hidden or isolated. It happened right inside a barbershop, a place where families, children, and community members usually gather for haircuts, conversations, and regular business. But on this day, that normal routine will be broken by violence. The crime took place on the 2500 block of West Lehigh Avenue, located in the North Philadelphia area. This was a known community spot, busy during the day. The particular barbershop involved has not been publicly named in most reports, but the street location was confirmed by local police. On that day, the shop was open to customers. People were present, some waiting for their turn, others seated in chairs chatting or getting haircuts. There was no sign of immediate trouble before the incident began. Then at 1:48 p.m., the situation changed quickly and violently. At around 1:48 p.m., Armand Hilton entered the barbershop. Witnesses described him as calm when he first came in. He was not wearing a mask or covering his face. According to police statements and video surveillance from nearby areas, he walked into the building armed with a firearm. The specific type of gun used has not been publicly disclosed by authorities, but it was described by police as a handgun. Hilton's arrival was not random. Reports suggest that he knew Tiffany Wade was there. She was inside the shop at the time, either waiting for service or talking to others inside. There were no signs of an argument or shouting before the attack started. The situation moved from normal to deadly in a matter of seconds. Without any warning or exchange of words, Hilton pulled out his firearm. Witnesses described seeing him raise the weapon and fire multiple shots at Tiffany Wade. The bullet struck her in the torso and the head, causing immediate critical injuries. People inside the barbershop panicked. Several tried to run. Some froze in fear. There was no way to stop Hilton in time. The shots were fired quickly, leaving Tiffany with no chance of escape or defense. Within seconds, she was on the floor, unresponsive. The shooting was fast. Witnesses later told police that the entire attack lasted less than a minute. After firing the shots, Hilton did not stay to speak or confront anyone further. He immediately turned around and fled the scene, still armed, leaving behind a room full of frightened, shocked people and the critically wounded victim on the ground. Emergency responders were contacted immediately after Hilton fled. Police units arrived quickly, as did paramedics. Upon arrival, they found Tiffany Wade on the ground, suffering from gunshot wounds to both the torso and head. Despite their efforts to provide